Alienation caused by the internet. Recent technology has created a new form of loneliness which might appear harmless on a surface level, but is deeply insidious and harmful to the soul. Never before in human history did people have a constant, never-ending stream of entertainment at their fingertips that's available at any time and any place. And this has made people complacent and lazy. Why should I go out and talk to a woman when I have a 10-hour video of Reza Shah beating an Ahund? Of course, escapism has always existed, but now it has become so streamlined and accessible that you can basically live your whole life without having to leave your room or talk to any living person. In the 1940s, if you wanted to watch a movie, you had to physically go to a movie theater where they would show the movie at a specific time. In the 1970s, you could just watch movies on your TV, but you couldn't choose what time the movie could be shown. In the 2000s, you could buy a DVD and watch your favorite movie as much as you like, but you still had to physically go to a video store and pick a movie from their collection. Now, with the help of the internet, you can watch whatever movie you want whenever you want, and the internet's capabilities aren't limited to only movies. The internet can be your teacher, friend, lover, and church. With the internet and recently AI, people have made a simulacrum of human interaction for themselves, and are convinced that it serves the same function as a real physical human interaction. But it doesn't really. It is a one-sided conversation where you don't have to say anything and not fully pay attention to what the other person is saying. Just using them as a background noise, so God forbid you don't have to sit alone with your thoughts in pure silence. Some people have recently begun having long conversations with their AI, and a few of them have even developed romantic feelings for their AI. It's just like that movie Her, but that movie looked gorgeous and beautiful, and our world is hideous and ugly and depressing. I often think about how I would have acted if I was born 10 or 20 years earlier in the days before the internet. Every piece of technology gives you something, but also takes away something that you never knew you needed in the first place. The most cliché example of this is social media, and how despite hypothetically offering endless friends from around the world, most people are lonelier than ever. But just because something is a cliché doesn't make it not true. People have been complaining about the rise of technology since Plato, when he warned about the introduction of writing. He came from an era where philosophers would just memorize important information and orally pass it on to the next generation. So when writing became popularized, he worried people would not learn stuff by heart anymore and grow lazy and dependent on external text. One of the worst and most inhumane forms of torture is solitary confinement, so I find it very strange that so many people are putting themselves in a sort of self-made cage. A cage with fancy electronics and endless entertainment, but a cage nonetheless. Alienation created by the internet is the most popular form of loneliness in our current demonic era, but there are other types which are much more ancient. Robin Williams once said, "I used to think that the worst thing in life is to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel alone." One of the most alienating experiences out there is trying to express an idea to someone and them just not understanding what you're saying. It's like you're trapped in your mind with no escape.
And he tried to explain his situation to like 8 people who are like, I guess, at least a little sympathetic to him, because we wanted to hear him out at least. And not a single person understood what he was saying. His thoughts were so disorganized, he could not express himself such that one person in the world understood what he was talking about.
Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." I say, "I am heard, therefore I am." For people who are neurodivergent or just not good at talking to people, it's almost like you're speaking one language and everyone else around you is speaking another language. You begin to think you just can't talk and are speaking in pure gibberish, until you find someone who speaks your language and you realize you weren't speaking gibberish at all. You just needed someone to understand you and spoke the same language as you. I think people romanticize loneliness, and I definitely used to do that too, to excuse my ineptitude at talking to people. But in the last few years, I have made a real concentrated effort at trying to connect with people. And I'm not gonna say it was easy or that I wasn't left heartbroken and disappointed by some people, but I still think it was very much worth the effort to be more social. And I learned something very important. I'm not the main character of the universe. When you're all by yourself for a long enough time, you begin to feel like you're the only person in the universe. But once you get out of your shell and start really engaging with people, you realize how many interesting, wonderful people are out there with their own unique, interesting stories. So my message to all the autistic weirdos out there is try not to romanticize the loneliness and turn it into a great tragedy. Connecting with people is hard, but it's so pretty doable, and it's necessary and good for your body and soul.